In this tutorial, we'll be speaking about expectations theory. The expectations theory is one of the theories that describe the relationship between interest rates and time. This relationship is usually shown by way of a graph called a yield curve. There are three kinds of yield curves. The first one is called a normal yield curve, and a normal yield curve is an upward sloping yield curve. The second one is called a flat yield curve, and a flat yield curve is represented by a horizontal line. And then lastly, there is an inverted yield curve, and this is a yield curve that is downward sloping. The normal yield curve says that interest rates in the short term are lower than interest rates in the long term. The flat yield curve says that there is no difference between short-term interest rates and long-term interest rates. The inverted yield curve says that interest rates in the short term are higher than interest rates in the long term. The expectation theory says that future interest rates depend on people's expectations. So if people expect that the interest rates in the future will rise, that means that the yield curve will be upward sloping. But if people expect that interest rates in the future will be no different from interest rates right now, then the expectation theory would explain a flat yield curve. If people expect that interest rates in the future will drop, then the expectation theory will explain a downward sloping inverted yield curve. So the expectation theory can explain a normal yield curve. It can also explain a flat yield curve, and it can also explain an inverted yield curve.